Hello humans, I'm the Alien Doctor, but you can call me Alien, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be taking a look at all of the client-side resource packs that I use on a daily basis to play Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This was inspired by a recent video Exumavoid uploaded where he was talking about the mods that he used on Java Edition. Now, next week, I'm going to be uploading a video showcasing the third-party tools and apps and software that I use to play Bedrock Edition, but today I just want to focus on specifically the resource packs that I use in this game. Now, to be clear, this will not be a tutorial, it will more be a brief showcase of each of the packs. If I have a video or tutorial or anything like that on any packs, I'll leave them in the description. Likewise, I'll also leave the creators links and also the download links for all of these packs in the description so that you can go download them and check them out yourself. This will mostly just be a brief summary of certainly the larger ones, because some of them have quite a lot of features and some of them don't. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. So first of all, the potion bubble hider actually hides potion bubbles. So if I were to affect myself with an effect, such as haste for example, normally I would actually have the potion bubbles. However, this pack actually hides those potion bubbles. Now, there are plenty of other resource packs that do the same as well, but this one is actually works in a different way to all of the other potion particle hider resource packs, or the majority that I've seen anyway, because this modifies the JSON files as opposed to the textures, generally making this work more on servers and things like that. So if you have downloaded another potion particle hider resource pack and it's not working on a server or something, then I would recommend trying this one, because this generally works 100% of the time. Next, we have my helmet hider. It's kind of in the name, but it will simply stop helmets from rendering on my head. So if I just get a diamond helmet, you can see that I am wearing the diamond helmet, but you cannot actually see it on my skin. The reason for this is that my face is majority just a huge eye, and the helmet would go in front of that eye, making my skin look kind of weird and hard to look at. So this is of course a client-side resource pack that will simply hide helmets for me. This does unfortunately come with a downside that when mobs are wearing helmets, you won't actually be able to see them either. So I have no idea if any of these guys are wearing helmets because, well, I can't see it due to this resource pack. And then skipping past the custom fog, we have the Clearchat pack. What the Clearchat pack basically does is just make the chat background completely invisible. So if you take a look at my coordinates, you can see there's no black background behind it. And if I type some stuff in chat just randomly, you can see there that there's still no background behind it. This is really helpful if you're playing on a device with a larger GUI or just a smaller screen, because it will make the chat so much more unobtrusive. We then have my custom fog resource pack. This currently has 2 settings, and there may be more in the future. The first one is the ability to actually hide underwater fog. So you can see here there's lots of underwater fog. That pack has a toggle that will let you hide that. However, I personally play with it disabled. However, the part of this pack that I do play enabled is to do with the nether. So heading into the nether, you will be able to see, if we get into a large open area, there is in fact no fog. In the nether, normally you would have quite a large amount of fog. So in vanilla, no matter what your render distance, the fog is always at the same position, whereas this pack will actually make it scale with your render distance. So right now I'm playing on 32, but if I set it to 5, you can see there that the fog will, come back again because it scales with your render distance. This makes flying about in the nether much easier because you could actually see where you're going, and it will also help quite a lot with finding things like fortresses and bastions. So far, all of the packs that I've showed are my own, and all of those can be downloaded from TheAlienDoctor.com as well, if you are interested in trying them out for yourself. So this next one I currently have disabled, and I've actually came onto the Hermitcraft Season 8 world to show it to you, so full credit to the Hermits for this world download. Of course, I'm not a part of Hermitcraft or affiliated with it or anything like that. I just wanted to, show you this pack with some really awesome builds. So that's what I'm done. So I'm gonna aim my pointer at that red house, and currently the pack is disabled. Now what I'm gonna do is actually log out and enable it. And upon loading back into the world, you may think that I've applied some sort of filter over my video or something, but this is in fact the resource pack. So what it does is actually make the game a little bit more saturated and a little bit more vibrant. And before I get too deep into it, I should say this is Foxy No Tail's brightness pack. Of course, link will be left in the description. And in my personal opinion, it just makes the game look a little bit nicer and a little bit more vibrant. You can see even here as I scroll through the creative mode inventory that all of the blocks and all the items have just had their brightness increased a little bit just to give them a little bit more vibrantness. In my opinion, it just makes the game look a little bit more vibrant and a little bit more nicer. So in my resource packs folder, you may notice that there's actually nothing left other than this combo pack. So you may be wondering what this combo pack does. Well, it actually combines some useful resource packs together, basically. So basically, any resource pack that isn't mine, I have combined into this pack, and I've done that for two reasons. Number one, I didn't want to just fill up my resource packs bit with just loads of really small resource packs. And number two, some of the packs that I use actually aren't compatible with each other. So by doing this, it made them all compatible together. But of course, full credit to those creators. All I did is combine them and make them compatible. I didn't do any of the hard work of making them work in the first place. And of course, full credit to the creators in the description down below, along with the download links. Now also could be a good time to say that I actually have a Minecraft chatter channel in my Discord, and pinned here is actually a message which I regularly update with all of the various different resource packs that I use. Now I'll briefly be going through each one of these, but there is quite a lot. So the first one I've showed on the channel before, but it is Bedrock Tweaks, an unofficial Bedrock port of vanilla tweaks. And this is really good. They've got absolutely tons of the textures on here now. It's absolutely great. And I would recommend this. There's no way for you to share predefined packs, so I can't really share you a link to my specific one like you can on Vanilla Tweaks. However, as I mentioned, there's this message in my Discord server which I update with all of the selected packs that I use from Bedrock Tweaks. So you can go check that out if you are more interested. So this next one is a small tweak to do with foxes, but basically, you may not be aware, but foxes can actually wear armor. Now, the helmet hider kind of makes the helmet invisible, but as you can see here, I'm just dropping this fox armor and it is actually wearing it. Now, this is actually a vanilla bug in the game, so this resource pack doesn't actually change any of that. But what it does simply do is actually make the armor render. If I didn't have this resource pack applied, then the fox would still be wearing the armor, but you simply wouldn't be able to see the armor. This is by Fond Unicycle, and I'll leave a link in the description. Likewise, it can even wear elytra, which is incredibly cute. And this is for science. Don't judge me, but I need to know what happens. Okay, look away. Oh dear. We're just not going to load back that world again. Another pack that I've been playing with for this entire time, which you may have noticed, is in the top right, and it is the chunk border pack that is available on Paral's Discord, and it will actually tell you whether you are standing on a chunk edge or a chunk corner. So as you can see right now, I'm actually on a chunk edge. So we can see that the chunk edge is between these two blocks, because if I go over here, then you can see that I'm no longer on a chunk edge. And if I keep walking, then there we go. I am now on a chunk corner. This is a chunk corner, and then we got the chunk edge over here, and presumably there'd be the chunk edge also over here. This is just really useful for chunk aligning just various builds and stuff without having to use another one to actually display the chunk borders physically. So speaking of chunk borders, this is the Bedrock Technical resource pack by Mad Hatter and Bud, and it has an absolute ton of features that I certainly won't be able to show, but one of them actually gives a little bit more feature to the rocket if you put it in your offhand, where you can see here, I can now see the chunk borders. It's only for the chunk that you're specifically stood in, and you also have to be in F5 mode for it to work. However, putting the Nautilus shell into your offhand will also render something else. It will actually render slime chunks. So if I fly up a bit, you can actually see that as long as I'm in F5 mode, of course, all of these green chunks right here are actually slime chunks. So if I go down a bit, then slimes will begin spawning below 38, I believe it is. And yeah, this is actually really useful because it means you don't have to load up chunk base. But this pack actually does quite a lot with armor stands. So for example, if I give it Prismarine, you can see here that it will show all of the spawning spots for the ocean monument, and there are a ton of other different stuff that you can give this as well. For example, if I gave it sugar, then it would show you the witch hut spawning spot. If there was a witch hut here, or oak planks, it will give you the spawn spheres as well. So yeah, this has absolutely tons of features. I'd recommend checking it one out. Very useful for technical players. Now, there is another resource pack that's very useful for technical players and also messes about with armor stands a lot. Now, bear in mind that the Bedrock Technical pack isn't compatible with this one. I've manually made these compatible. Unfortunately, I cannot actually share the combined pack to you because I would have to get permission from the owners, and I don't really want to do that because, well, it's not really my work, it's theirs. So you're going to have to learn add-ons yourself if you want to combine them, but it's not too hard. Anyway, if you give the armor stand a banner and change its pose, it will cycle through tons of different stuff. So this is Foxy No-Tail's markers pack, and it is once again super useful for technical players. I won't go through all the features. One of the main ones I use is the spawn spheres. I personally prefer the spawning spheres on this one than the Bedrock Technical pack. I just find them a bit easier to see, but it will also show you chunk borders, so I have yet another way of checking chunk borders. This one's quite useful. It means you don't have to carry a compass around with you to check the direction. We have a distance counter, a day counter, time, FPS, coords, nether coords, and even spawner radiuses. All sorts of things in the markers pack by Foxy No-Tail. I genuinely would recommend that one. Very, very useful, and I've made a video about it in the past as well. Now, speaking of Foxy No-Tail, I actually use quite a lot of his packs, so we're probably going to have to speed run through the next bit, but logging out of the game and heading over to my servers list, you'll notice that none of the featured servers are actually here. So I'm using Foxy's Better Server UI pack to basically hide the featured servers because they're annoying. Now, loading into a world and setting the weather to rain, you will notice that the rain is actually way less obtrusive now. That's because this pack by Foxy No-Tail actually makes the rain sort of just much smaller. In vanilla, they would sort of be like streaks along your screen, whereas this is more sort of squares. It's much less annoying when it's raining, and it also looks better on YouTube because the other thing is rain does not look very good on YouTube, and I'm sorry if you can't see the rain very well. It's because of how small and unobtrusive it is. So yeah, if you can't see it very well on YouTube, that would be why. Now, dyeing some leather armor now and then equipping it, you'll notice that it doesn't have those weird white patches anymore that exist in vanilla. That's because this other pack by Foxy No-Tail will also make it clear, as you can see right now. So the leather armor is just fully blue instead of having those weird white bits that it had in vanilla for some reason. So this is quite useful as well. So once again, we are in another world that you may recognize. This is actually Hermitcraft Season 6, because last but not least, I wanted to show you the RTX resource pack that I use. So this is actually Defined PBR by MadLad. However, it actually also uses Foxy No-Tail's brighter textures as well. And it looks like we have the bug where everything is shiny. Excellent. You know what? RTX has just been a pain to record with today. You don't know how long I've spent trying to get this clip. I will not have it ruined by shininess. Is everything shiny or just concrete? Am I just being clueless right now? No, okay, everything is actually shiny. I haven't seen this bug before in person. Well, this is a bug with ray tracing, because ray tracing is pretty broken, where all the textures look shiny, as you can see. But normally, this RTX pack looks absolutely lovely, and I've actually made a video about this a while ago before this specific RTX pack defined PBR, and I would strongly recommend checking it out. It is absolutely amazing. Now, I have made some modifications, as I mentioned earlier. So the main modification I made is to include it with all of Foxy No-Tail's brighter textures. So opening up the inventory, you can see all of these have the brighter textures, but then they still have the RTX-ness of the pack, if that makes sense. So essentially, I just combined Foxy's brighter textures and defined PBR together. That's really all the custom stuff I've done. There's a couple of other tweaks, but that's really it. And that's also going to be it for today's Minecraft Bedrock Edition video. So if you are interested in more Minecraft Bedrock Edition content like this, then don't forget to like and subscribe today to join the Alien Empire. I'll see you in the next video coming very, very soon. Thank you to all my supporters. Bye.